Yes, this is the our artist who's just passed away, Thami Jali. And what was your first reaction when you first saw this painting or these paintings?
When I saw it now, I was immediately sad. It's at the passing of such an amazing artist. But when I look at it from an artist's perspective, I'm impressed by the layering and he's obviously used oil paint and he's used such loose brush strokes and so free. He's put three almost different artworks together and they gel because I think the style of the one on the left and the right is very similar. And the middle one just seems a little tighter. And the fact that he's robed in clothes is sad if you think that now he is no more. Yeah. I like the floating rocks. They could symbolize people. And also, I noticed there's a brown halo shape above his head. Yeah. I also like the colors. Almost clean, very slightly broken colors. They're smushed together and work so well together. And then the blue sky that comes down. So this man is actually standing in the clouds.
That's what I remember feeling like when I first saw these paintings, that they were like someone had painted a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's brought in these Ndebele-like patterns into a painting that is more figurative in ways.
Do you know anything about these? You know the name, Ndebele. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm learning so much to learn and seek and absorb. It's wonderful. But yeah, do you know any more about that?
I just know Johannes Eaton's colour exercises. Yeah.
I'm going to be taking a bit of a deep dive, I must say. I'm looking online for Thami Jali's anything that he's talking about and looking at. And the one thing that have come across is something that's on a Instagram channel. And then that made me instantly come here and look at these paintings and read up a bit more of the artist's statement and look into a bit more of his why as to why he created these paintings. It's great to have the initial impact, which is why I wanted you to talk first without any information, because I also love the difference between being a viewer and being a painter. And when you're a viewer and you're standing in the same place as the painter, you don't have that why. You have a completely different experience, and I'm learning more and more to enjoy the different experiences of just looking at a painting and responding from your own reflections, your own knowledge, your own background. And it's so dreamy was my first thing, but as I look into it, he's diving deep into surrealism with these paintings. Yeah. And I know from your love of colour, your love of culture, and the way that you've grown up, the way you've just explained, all of your deep backgrounds in all of their variations and contrasts. So he's diving deep into, what would you say about surrealism?
Well, it's based on the teachings of Sigmund Freud, who says that the dream world is even more real than reality. So there's definitely a spirituality about it. And Salvador Dali said don't ask me to explain my work. I don't understand it myself.
Yes.
So what Salvador Dali did in Surrealism, what often happened in Surrealism, is that they would paint one, for example, a rock, or paint that, to me, it looks like a soccer goalpost. They would paint it and then paint another rock and then think, oh, maybe I can do another one over there. So it's not pre-planned, so it flows almost by chance and as the artist is led. And I would say that these paintings went that way.
Yes. He's in his statement here, he's explaining and sharing his discovery of an artist who, in Pumalanga, would paint these boulders. And he took a deep dive into the why of this particular artist. He was very attracted to this artist who was painting these boulders as a non-commercial artist, as someone who was never going to sell them. Like, why is he painting these incredible, like they're beautiful? Why is he here? How is he here? What's he doing? And he discovered through researching the character, this painter, that this painter was very much misunderstood by his community, a very quiet person, a very misunderstood person. And that's when he, as an artist, began to combine all of these different things that he liked. I think he loved to see an artist paint for artists, the sake of painting, which is another thing you mentioned just 5 minutes ago, just for the sake of art, with nothing else in mind. And then he was also inspired by the fact that this guy was completely misunderstood, a recluse, I think he said. So no one really, he didn't share space with anyone or time with anyone. So it's interesting to wonder if he thought that this was the artist, because we paint ourselves, don't we, when we're painting?
And I know that the sutras have a game where they draw a board on the gravel, on the ground, with their fingers, and then they put little pebbles, stones down, and you throw the stone up and catch it and put it down again. And the winner was the one, I think, who ate the most stones. And these squares remind me of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I'm about to learn a little bit more about this sort of pattern work, because I like it a lot. Just as much as I love the surrealness of art, I love this much more concrete, angular, like definiteness. I think because as an artist myself, I love contrasts, and I go toward contrasts. There's this wonderful performance artist, and she's recently done an interview, and she speaks about what draws her towards it as an artist. And she says it's always the difficult things, the things she doesn't understand, the things that are not simple, because that's what interests her.
I think what I like very much about this painting, and I find it inspiring, is the cloth that drapes from the middle image to the left image of the triptych, and then on the right there's a cloth just going right down. It's hanging heavily down, weighted. So I like the flowing of the breeze, the wind, and then the reality. And the reality one is juxtaposed by the figure floating in the air. I really like that. And I also like that he didn't kill his underpainting, his background. Through the red you can still see the brown background, and through the white you can see the brown. He started with dark grounds in all three of the paintings. And he built up ending probably with the light.
Right. It's great, isn't it? I know that Jeremy on WhatsApp, what's art on WhatsApp, he shares this Times newspaper from New York City, and it's a little inspiration. And what it's asking the viewers to do is, and it puts a timer up there, and it times you 15 minutes. You're challenged to look at this painting for 15 minutes. And I love how we're just spending this time and we're seeing more and more and more. I mean, I saw the curtain, but when you spoke about it, it meant so much more to my realizations. And this chessboard, there's a whole thing happening there.
Yes, very Eurocentric the chessboard is. And then that looks like Stonehenge, the rectangle. I wonder if there is an old derelict building that he worked from that inspired him.
Interesting, yes. Maybe in Pumalanga. Maybe if you know, you know.
I really like these floating rocks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Celeste, taking this time with this incredible, beautiful person. He's a beautiful person. You can see by the talks that are on the internet with him. Really exceptional person. I hope there are a lot more talks about him. I'm sure there will be. Thanks again for the help.